This meeting to order. It is 3:30. Good afternoon, everybody. This is the regular April 10th meeting of the Jackson Board of Selectmen. Thanks for joining us. We're glad you're here. And our first order of business, agenda item 1, chairman selection. We'll continue to table that to a meeting when all three of us can be here. John has still got a work obligation. So we'll move on to approval of minutes. First up, we've got the regular Selectmen's meeting of March 27th. Minutes. Did you get a chance to look these over, Dick?
I did.
Anything come to mind that?
Look really quite thorough to me.
Okay, excellent. Great job, Gloria. I didn't notice anything either, so entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I will make that motion.
I'll second it. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Next up would be the minutes from the non-public session dated March 27th, same day after the regular session of the minutes of the meeting. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes as written.
I'll make that motion.
Very good. I'll second that. All those in favor of approving the minutes from the non-public session on March 27th signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Very good.
May I ask what they were? If they're on
We're discussing policy and procedures for the police department.
And the minutes read, Police Department presented a draft update of the rules, regulations, policies, and procedures manual to the board. The board's goal is to review and provide feedback in an upcoming meeting.
Okay, thank you.
And so we will move on from that, and those minutes were not approved to be sealed for obvious reasons. Didn't fall under any of the RSAs that guide and require us to seal minutes. Update on action items. We didn't have any action items from the last meeting, but we do have some upcoming meeting dates and times that we want to make sure we announce and get on record again. Our April 24th is our next meeting, our last meeting in April, and that'll be Tuesday, April 24th at 3:30 p.m. right here. Our May dates are Tuesday, May 8th at 3:30 p.m. and Tuesday, May 22nd at 3:30 p.m. Again, right here in our meeting room. Next up, public comments. Any public comments? Sarah?
Yes, this is in regards to insurance reimbursement or stipend for opting out of town health insurance. I was provided a list of towns used to make the decision on the cost from the town of Jackson for wage and reimbursement compensation for health insurance. I took the average cost of 15 of the 17 towns, throwing out the high and low cost. The average cost for reimbursement was $4,800. The average population for these 15 towns was 8,366 persons. I then took the average for all 17 towns. The reimbursement was 5,382, with the population averaging being between 8,922 people. I then called other towns off the list provided by the town of Jackson and found that these towns do not give any reimbursement or stipend. The towns are Ackworth with a population of 991, Albany population 735, Dalton 979, Monroe 788, and again the state does not give a reimbursement, and I have since found Carroll County Sheriff does not give a health insurance reimbursement either. I was told at present, the town of Carroll does give a compensation to its employees. I was told at present they have 2 families and 2 singles getting compensation, totaling $6,540. This information was given to me freely over the phone. No right to know work papers were needed or any of my phone calls to these towns. My question to you that I asked last week, Bob, was, you said, I'd like to know where you got the figure of 16,500. You don't care to answer that?
I don't know what your question is. Where did I get a figure
You
of
told
six?
us that compensation was given in a town for 16,500. That's how you processed.
I think it's Waterville Valley that was on the list.
Okay.
55% of the rate of the insurance
Right,
policy.
well,
so.
I spoke to them, and they have put a cap on it because it was going off. And their residence is 246, the demographics compared to Jackson is what I'm going to. The median income is 55,625. There are 121 households. Housing units is 1,097. Non-resident housing units is 976. And the ratio to residents to non-residents is 8-to-1, where Jackson's non-residents to residents is 2-to-1.
Thank you. Any response, Dick? Anything to add? Any other comments before we move on?
I have some about some of those numbers, Bob, if I may.
Sure.
The $16,500 reference was addressed to Waterville Valley, and that is a reimbursement that they pay their employees, a reimbursement. Now, you said reimbursement or stipend, and I think that's like saying apples and oranges, because, hold on a second, because a reimbursement means somebody spent that money, a stipend means it's an inducement or bonus to not take the insurance. Some of the towns in your analysis were provided by me to the selectmen associated with police departments. Of the 9 police departments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that I researched, Waterville Valley does a reimbursement. The rest do a stipend. Now again, a reimbursement is a zero-sum gain for the employee. A stipend is a cash bonus to the employee. So 8 of the 9 did a cash bonus. Of those, the average, including Waterville Valley, is $5,933.30.
Could you repeat that number, please?
$5,933.30. Those communities are Waterville Valley for $16,500, Ware, New Hampshire for $5,500. Now, after Waterville Valley, everybody else is a stipend. Ware, New Hampshire, $5,500. Campton, $5,100. New Boston, $5,000. Sunapee, $5,000. Dublin, $5,000. Hinsdale, $4,000. Plastow, $3,800. Ringe, $3,500. Now, I think more dynamic and significant than demographics, ratios, and topography or geography is what component of that is their benefit package, and I didn't hear you speak about anything like that. So, for instance, you mentioned Conway for having an inducement of $1,250, but that's one slice of their overall benefit package. So, and I can't speak to those other agencies because I don't know. But I know that many of them are a stipend, which is a bonus, not the case in the town of Jackson. And the one that is a reimbursement is $16,500, which is 50. They will reimburse up to 55% of their insurance cost if someone is on a different plan.
They have since capped that. I believe the figure is less than 13,000.
And we're
on.
here during public comments, so let's try and afford the same. Hold on a minute. Let's try and afford the same courtesy that you get shown to you when you speak.
Yes, sir.
Nobody's interrupting you when you speak, and I would appreciate you showing the same courtesy to everybody else when they have the floor. I can't run a meeting that's got rules of order in place when we're not recognizing one person at a time having the floor. Chief, you want to finish your...
Yes. I never said 13,000, but nobody ever said that number. I don't know why you repeated it, why you said that number. It's $16,500, which is a recent change this year from $15,000. So whether it's a cap, they just capped it because it went up $1,500. So that to say it's a cap, to infer like they have decided it's not a cap, it is what it is. That's what they give back, 16.5. Not 13, not 32, or the other numbers you threw around, 16.5. And that's a reimbursement. Somebody spent, they reimburse, zero sum, and they save substantial. Because my guess is Waterville Valley pays a lot more for their family plans or for their insurance plans because it's a smaller pool. Because that's one of the things that drives risk pool insurance, which all municipalities in the state of New Hampshire are in risk pool insurance groups. We don't go to Travelers, or we don't go to Liberty and buy insurance. We're in a risk pool, either through Primex or New Hampshire Municipal, and they cobble money together, and it's a pile of money, and they hope nobody screws up, and that money is paid out if somebody does. So that's what the insurance is all about. So those are just some verifiable factual figures that I have cobbled together.
All done? Okay, very good. We will now move on to building inspector. Kevin, how are you?
All right, good.
Looks like another relatively busy week.
Yeah, another busy week, that's for sure.
What do you got for us?
All 60 building and demo permits. Let's see, we have 1143 Route 16, which is the Dana Place Inn. Basically, it's a demo permit. And I'll go over some more of that after I read the rest of these off.
Okay.
At 150 Mirror Lake Road, remodel a bath. Unit 17 at the Dana Place Road, replace the second story bedroom deck. It's actually decks, yeah. 28 Beach Hill Road, renewal permit. It's for an exterior building of for a heating system. And we have 26 Mirror Lake Road, remodel master bath. And 153 Route 16, the Lot Jackson Village. It's an addition. Actually, they're closing in a walkway in the back, and then they removed an interior wall. And I'm just aware of that. Good thing I was over there because they removed the interior wall. It was a barren wall, and I think they were under the impression that they could just take it out and didn't realize it was a barren wall. But we got that fixed. And I'm glad because the fire department had a set of plans there too. Because looking at what was going on there, you couldn't really see what was behind the sheetrock.
And do they have any kind of architectural rendering for this work, or they just...
No, what it was an interior wall. It had a French,
It's a commercial building.
Right, it had a French door, and 2 pieces of glass, and they just wanted to remove it to open up the lobby. So they just took out the wall. So anyway, I sent them that. We got some temporary wall underneath it, sent them down to Hancock. They engineered proper size LVL and got that in there. So yeah, so it's stronger than ever. Going back to the Dana Place, basically they're demoing it right now. I think I told you last week they got all the asbestos out of there. That was all certified. Air quality test, was got the report back from that. They put in for a building permit. We're going over that. We had a lot of questions. It was the fire chief, Bob Goodrow, and we're going over that, and we got more questions. So we're going to get some of that info back, and Goody's coming back down on 24th to go over some more stuff. And some of the questions we were asking was, those rooms they're all 1 hour fire rated, so it requires the wiring that penetrates the wall has to be fire rated. You can only use MC inside the room, but the minute you go through. Same with the plumbing. You have to use the caps from PVC to PVC.
And seal up around it.
Yeah, seal up that, right. And all the boxes have to be sealed too in the room with that. I'm sure you've seen that stuff on the sheet. What else is going on? Yeah, the red stuff, right. Yeah, they could put alarm in there, complete alarm system. I think I mentioned sprinkler system too. They're gonna put that in there.
How many square feet are they dealing with?
We were looking about just somewhere under of renovation, 18,000 square feet.
So it's over the 15,000, or that's what I used to use as the point to go to sprinklers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think what what the fire code says. That's basically fire code. I think that's why. Yeah, that's why we.
I'm sure it's changed.
Right.
since
Yep.
then.
And I can't think of anything else. So I mean, things are moving along.
Okay, keep an eye on
Yeah, right. Yeah, actually, he came in too. I got to go up there tomorrow. He came in because they came across some framing that's not proper or whatever. Probably like something another load bearing wall. They pulled off sheetrock and something. There's no header in some wall or something. So I'll go up there and look at that. And even the owner realized that. So that was a good thing.
it. Now, who's the contractor?
I have a name. It's written next door. But if you want that, I'll get that for you. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
just a good contact person for structural things.
Yeah, right. No. Yeah, and he's operating with a firm too. I'm saying right that right next door. Next time I'll come up with all that.
Great.
There's a firm out of New Hampshire that they have architects, fire and life safety code people on board looking at all this stuff. So.
All right.
So that's their goal, is to rehab the building into,
12 units.
okay,
Anything from one bedroom to a couple of either have two, and there's like one that'll have three, I think. And then two of them are going to be
accessible.
accessible, right? Correct. Yeah.
And are these going to be sold as timeshares?
No, rented.
Just rented?
Rented, just plain rented.
Okay.
Yeah. Which we need in town of Jackson.
Same
Right, but you'll go over pool stations and...
Yep. Right. Yeah. We just talked about that. Actually, the sprinkler system. There was no pull station, believe it or not.
I believe it.
Yeah, because of the actual sprinkler head acts as the smoke detector, minus each room gets smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, right?
And the plan is that they're not going to expand beyond the...
Nope, just right in the same footprint, right? And I can't think of anything else.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Keep us posted.
Okay, I will.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
You signed all those?
I did.
Yeah.
A couple of them twice. All right. New business for this meeting. We had another interest in serving on a board by Huntley Allen. Huntley Allen, if you were at our last meeting or saw the minutes, you know that Huntley was reappointed to serve another term on the Zoning Board of Adjustment, and in addition, he had stepped up and expressed with a letter of interest would like to serve on the Planning Board as an alternate member for a 3-year term. So that's the letter he sent in, and so Huntley wants to be both on the Zoning Board of Adjustment and on the Planning Board. So I would entertain a motion to approve Huntley Allen to fill one of the vacant. We have a total of 5 vacant seats on the for alternates on the Planning Board, and he's willing to fill one of those seats.
I would make that motion.
Very good. I'll second that. All those in favor, say aye. Very good. So this is the 10th of April. grateful for Huntley stepping up and serving again. So we'll have to let him know how much we appreciate that.
There's also just an FYI about the someone stepping for the road supervisors of the checklist as well. It's on the yellow orange sticky.
Okay. Supervisor of the checklist Fred Tompkins has been appointed until March 2019. And Betsy Harding has been appointed as assistant to the supervisors until March 2019 as well. Thank you for reminding me about that. Next up is the Department of Transportation's proposed resurfacing program. They intend to resurface a number of different areas. One of them is the Village Loop, and that's going to be this year during paving season this year. And so they need us to acknowledge that we have crosswalks here that they would like to go ahead and restripe, and they need our permission to sign off on their crosswalk policies in order to do that. These are not mid-block crosswalks, but if they were mid-block crosswalks, they would be they would fall under certain criteria. But we're basically signing off onto their crosswalk resurfacing program. So I know you've read this, as we all have between meetings. Did you have any questions or comments on any of it?
Cleared it all up for me.
Okay, yeah, it was pretty straightforward. Once we got some verbal clarification from the folks down in Concord. So I will go ahead and entertain a motion to sign off on the crosswalk maintenance plan of the New Hampshire Department of Transportation. Very good, and I'll second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, very good. And so let's see here. We've got spots to sign. We just got one signature on each page. They just want the chair, or they don't care.
I don't think it has to be the chair, just someone on the board.
Okay. Well, you sign one and I'll sign the other. How about that?
Sign here.
Sign right there, and then
Okay.
on the 10th of April. Very good. Thank you.
Initial prospect working. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. And next up, we have a request for withdrawals from the trust, one of the trust funds. And I will read the motion I will seek. The Board of Selectmen are requesting the following withdrawals from the trust funds as indicated below. $2,146.50 from the Civil Defense Expendable Trust Fund 0025 for Stone Hearth Open Learning Opportunities, aka SOLO. And this is dated March 26, 2018, invoice number 032618.1. Entertain a motion to approve that request.
I would make that motion.
And I'll second it. Any questions about any of that? Okay, very good. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And then after that, we have the mini excavator lease. This has already been approved at the annual town meeting, and a couple of spots for us to sign. All three of us will sign here, so you will print. This says print name on the spot for 3, and then the title.
Oh, okay.
So they're not looking for a signature?
I guess not.
Okay, so print name and then your title. And they're looking for one signature here on this page.
And then there is a place for a signature down here.
Right, and that's for witness, and so
That's somebody over there.
Julie will hop on that. Excellent. Okay, done deal. Old business, transfer station updates, and John's not here, so we have nothing new to add to that, unless you've got something to add to transfer
No.
station updates. Probably don't need that next meeting since John won't be here either, but maybe we can get a more in-depth update when he comes back in May. Do you remember the date of our upcoming transfer station? It's later in the month. of May.
It's May something, right? 8th?
May 8th, okay, so we'll have that first meeting in May before the transfer station meeting, but we'll be getting some in-depth updates on the progress of that as we move forward. That seems to be it on old business.
May I ask
Up
a question
next.
about the transfer?
Sure.
There was a committee meeting here, was it last week, where all 6 selectmen were present, and you were talking about the transfer station, and I understand they wanting to wait until maybe he's here to speak because he's the liaison or whatever. But at that time, there was some question about the plowing of the road that Jackson has, you as the liaison for the town highway department said they were having problems with plowing the road. Could I ask you, as the liaison, what the problem is? They've done it for 20 years, and now we seem to be having a problem that, you know, they're not coming to there as often, or the road hasn't been passed. You know, could you please explain that to me?
Well, obviously there's a much different look up there than there was a year ago, and certainly even more different of a look than there was 2 years ago, and so we've got a lot more work to do up there, and there were issues with some of the equipment being parked up there when they were closed and in places that didn't allow us to plow, and so there are issues around plowing, and just like all the issues that are up there when the two towns partner, we come together and address them. So that's the overview of it, really. And there used to be sand up there, and there hasn't been sand kept up there, and so it makes it difficult for them to do what they need to do. And so we asked for as you remember, we asked Donnie to kind of let us know what he needed up there for equipment to do that job. And so it's an ongoing discussion, just like a lot of things are. B.
I thought it was they plow town hall, and that's our job to do that, the road.
That's how the split was. When you look at the contract, the maintenance is 75% of the maintenance is to be performed by the town of Bartlett, and 25% of the maintenance is to be performed by the town of Jackson. And years ago, when the two towns got together, they felt like that would be a fair and reasonable split for them to do the end of Town Hall Road, which is East Branch Road in Jackson, and for us to take care of the transfer station. But because the nature has changed and the look is different up there, that's why there have been problems, and maybe it's because there's new staff up there and we've got equipment parked in areas that keep us from plowing, which require more trips up there, and warranted a discussion. Any other public comments? Ben, you want to hop in or anything?
No, thank you.
Okay, great. Bob?
Is there any reason why the town crew can't take these wreaths down? They got all the equipment to do it with, and they've done it for years, and now they're trying to throw it on the town.
Chamber.
On the chamber.
From the chamber?
Chamber's gonna hire a lift or something.
Yeah, I don't know what the reason on that is. I can certainly run that by the road crew, find out what the deal is on the wreaths.
What's the highway doing now?
Hiding.
I'm not sure I understand what you're saying.
Well, are you in charge of highway or who is?
Nope.
Who is?
The Board of Selectmen oversees the highway department. It's run by the road agent.
Well, all I'm
So-
asking is what are they doing?
What are they doing?
Yeah.
I was up there yesterday, they're doing a lot of maintenance on the trucks, trying to get them up to snuff. I rode up to a house on Tyrol that had a light post knocked over, and we tried to figure out whether the town was responsible for that or not, and it'd be hard to have the wing of the plow hit the light post. There's a utility pole closer to the road and about 5 feet down. So it'd be pretty hard to hit that light post and not hit the utility pole. So we were just looking at it in case the landlord comes in and has a complaint about it. But I didn't hear you.
Nothing.
Okay.
It's Tony DeLuca's property up there.
Yeah, I know.
George?
Are there minutes to that meeting on the transfer station?
Should be.
I think we don't have them yet, do we?
Gene takes minutes.
I haven't gotten it.
Gene Chandler takes minutes of the meeting.
They should be.
And I don't believe we have a copy of them yet, but we will get them.
Will they show up on the web?
I have no idea how they
So we would like to know.
publish their end of it. I know that once we get a copy, we can put it on the web.
Okay, that's fine.
If that comes in, or maybe prompt them
I
to,
will.
so noted.
Any more comments from the public?
Have we moved to public comment? Or are you still?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I have two things. One is that when I came to the town of Jackson and asked how you came about with the reimbursement and so on, I was given this piece of paper that says annual reimbursement or stipend for opting out of health insurance. Milford, $3,347. Merrimack, $3,000. Summersworth, $5,000. Laconia, $4,570. Goffstown, $647. Basically, they're all, $8,000 or under. This is the information that you provided me with. So it says on the very title, annual reimbursement or stipend for opening out of town insurance. And that's where I got my figures from. And that's what I was working on. Those are the 15 towns that I averaged out. And then I took the whole 17. So this is the slip of paper that I got from you that gave me the average of the numbers that I said. So I wasn't making up numbers or just pulling stuff out of a hat. I wanted that to be clarified. And then last week in the minutes of the meeting, it said Chairman Thompson mentioned be inquired about the policy of town office closures in conjunction with with school snow days closures. Chairman Thompson mentioned the policy was set in place since the SAU and road agents felt roads the day were unsafe to travel on, that the town would follow their policy. He mentioned the employees do not get the day off as paid time, but do make these hours up for the rest of the week. Well, I'd like to read something that I got from the SAU-9. My question was, does the SAU-9 close their office when the school takes a snow day? The SAU-9 office does not close down due to the weather, and this is a direct quote. Neither snow nor rain nor heat nor gloom of night stays these officials from the swift completion of their appointed duties. So they, unquote. So the SAU-9 building does not close the days that the schools are closed. Just for your reference.
And I work in an SAU building, and I'm aware of that. So thank you for sharing. Any more public comments? We stated at the meeting why they close. It's really straightforward. I mean, if the roads are unsafe, well, it may not be something you agree with, but it's something that we feel is reasonable. All right, that's the last agenda item. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'd like to refer back to that reimbursement. Could anybody in the town offices, give us a framework of that reimbursement? In other words, there's nothing concrete here. We've called all the towns on the supplied list, and none of them have ever heard of it. Which towns that you know of that are participating in this particular program? Basically, that's, in other words, it's not about HIPAA or anything. It's about what is the format. In other words, what is there an RSA on it? There's not an RSA on it. What is the policy?
Yeah.
Has it been vetted through a CPA?
No, a lawyer.
Well, it's actually an accounting
It's
issue.
an accounting problem, but that we have to look at a lawyer to see if it's legal.
Right, but in other words,
Why would we vet it through a CPA?
to me, it's a practice. In other words, it's a practice, let's say, of what you're doing with numbers, okay? In other words, the structure of a business and whatnot. Now, you don't take, let's say, the financial end of a business to an attorney. You take the financial end of the business to an accountant, a CPA. What I'm asking is just, let's say, is there a formula? Is there something that's a hard copy or a website one can go to, let's say, better understand this reimbursement? Because it seems, aloof.
Well, thank you for your comments. I appreciate that. Anything you want that we have, just step right up to the window and ask for it. We have been openly discussing our health insurance reimbursement plans since the very first budget hearing meeting that took place in January of 2007. So it's been over a year and a half that we've been out in the public domain discussing this. And so it's been understood and hasn't been questioned and has had full public support at the budget hearings in 2017, the budget hearings in 2018, and the town meeting in 2018 as well had a very supportive vote of confidence given for it. So we're moving on from this issue, and we will address all of the health insurance issues just like we do every year. If you are interested in information and we have it, step up to the window and ask for it, and we'll be happy to provide it to you. Just like anything you ask for, you're entitled to, you're provided. So at that, thank you for your comments. We don't intend to get into back and forth question issues. If you have issues that you'd like to see on the agenda, please put them forward. That's what happened last week, and we turned the whole agenda into basically a little miniature public hearing from the views of everybody in the room and how they felt about the health insurance reimbursement plan, which is essentially what we also had at the annual meeting. We know how the townspeople feel about it. We know how people felt about it in the room. It's been discussed ad infinitum, and we will consider it again next fall when we look at our health insurance policies. It's in the handbook, and we saved $22,000 last year because we had the program. With that, we have no more old business to go over, and we've been through public comments, so I'll go ahead and accept a motion to adjourn.
I make that motion.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all for coming, everyone. We're glad you made it, and I hope to see you at the next meeting as well.